You're taking it up today.
I'm doing what today? Yes, we are collecting today. This is number 10. Look at me. Why do you have a plastic bag on your hand?
Yeah. Anyways, is light emitted from the ground to the excited state or the excited to the ground?
Where we at? What are you asking about, Kevin?
Is light emitted whenever energy goes from high to low or low to high?
High to low.
I don't know why.
Where you at? All right. On your periodic table, probably next box that
Say Kevin.
I do. All right, who you missing?
Either Devin.
Yes, that's 4. That's 4. That's 4. All right, Cheyenne is late.
We know. Wait, I can't drink coffee at my work. I want to be one of them. But that would be.
I missed anybody today. Thank you. Caleb right there. Yeah. Y'all sit down so I can see. Count all the floors on the periodic table.
Hey, that's good enough for me.
I know that one.
Why not get started?
On the right. I missed this one.
If I can
I'm not I got an 8.
I got it. Shut up. No. Let her be. Except you can try to tell me how you went messed up. Next up.
Whoa.
It's been a while. Hold up, man. Ain't nobody saying that.
She got a 9.
Thank you.
Okay. Wait, that was you said I'm doing it.
I can take photos.
I want to take Oh, I know. What's her
So, you know, you said, you know, I'm thinking you're like,
I don't get it, Linda.
Right. You did better than all of them.
Alright, let me see homework.
I think you need to stand that time. I see it.
Okay. Where's the other one? Number 13 on the other side.
That's what I used to know. Jayla, did you take my?
I just put all my problems on
I didn't even finish the other ones because we did not do it. Wait, what else? That's why I got it. This is what we did. That's what we did.
Let's do number 13 right there.
I didn't hear it. I didn't know how to do it. Out of shells. Go ahead. Anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna send Take them back.
Don't forget about that.
Just don't mind that. And then like, I know how to do this. I don't know how to solve it.
Don't forget that.
Like, I know it's like. That's
Okay. Okay.
Sure, whatever. It's one of them. All gaps, and then the next one you start double and you go 3 through 7, 4 through 7.
Okay. Yep.
Shut up, Annabelle. I don't care. You ever thought about that?
I did. Because like just 100 on this quiz is like balance out. Oh yeah, and I kind of picked it. I have a 70 on the homework and a 60 on.
Wait, how did you get a 20?
Yeah, you can get ranked.
Guys, be ready for me when I get here. It takes a while to look at 3 pages for 28 people. Huh?
Or just 2 in our case.
Well, there's only one really.
I can't be mad because I mean, I got it. I can't say that. Chicken, bacon.
All right.
I would have got
Here's
bacon
all-
cheese.
So good.
You're rushing me.
I don't think she's gonna get it. That's not one guy.
Watch me later. Watch me.
I didn't the entire time.
Like, no, I'll leave Abby. I'll put your cards.
Just one.
People got all their ideas.
Right.
Because
And you tell her after she grabs the nut. And it's
No,
like those say peanut together. No, it's like peanuts and nuts on its own. You better have it. No. Maybe start choking. She said it. She She's not murdered. She's stronger than her mama.
You got just wait. You gotta wait.
And that's fine, you can hold it to the end, you do not have to use it now. I can put that in if you want to pass.
I didn't say that was arguing necessarily. Okay, the number 13 one.
Number 13.
No, I can't come.
Better stop. But catch me up.
Okay, you got that one. What about this one?
Who's smart, don't need a push pass. Right.
Alright. Back side.
She said, okay. Miss Wong. What did, when we did that, I felt so good about this.
Wow.
Before makeup day.
Alright, when Dylan comes back, remind him I didn't see his homework.
Why will you do get a homework pass?
Because the answers were wrong.
But I felt so good.
And I am sincerely sorry.
Well, we didn't do, but selling for what, $5? I feel like you could less money.
Alright, look at the answers. How many orbitals can exist in the fourth main energy level?
Like 32?
Alright, I didn't read the question.
32! Oh, thanks. 16!
Alright,
16 orbital, not electron.
I did because I didn't read the question.
Orbital.
I don't get it. I'm about to start crying.
alright, the question says orbitals, not electrons. Okay? Because it says orbitals, it's not 32. Alright, so the shortcut way that I showed y'all, I'll get rid of that for a second. My copy of periodic table for us. Alright, so if we look at the shortcut way that I showed you, a lot of you probably did. Now, stop talking so you can listen. Because remember what I told you, who does not need the review?
You.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get 100 on the test without doing any review. So,
Take the test.
I've already taken the test.
What'd you get on it?
100.
I don't think I've ever been able to say that. That seems like a lot for
Now, the shortcut way that I showed you to do this was to count all the fours yesterday. Now, that will give you the number of what, though? That's the number of electrons. So there's 32 electrons. So what would you have to do with that to find the orbitals? You would divide it by 2 to get the orbitals.
Why you divide by 2?
Because how many electrons are in each orbital? There's 2 electrons in each orbital. So that's the shortcut way to take what we learned yesterday to find the orbitals. Now, the way we learned prior to doing this whole periodic table thing.
Wait, hold on. Oh.
Okay?
I didn't see that divide by 2 and I was like, I thought those were like.
Would have been n equals 4. How many sublevels are there?
4.
There are 4 sublevels, and they are 4s, 4p, 4d, and 4f. How many orbitals or pictures did S have?
1.
How many did P have?
3.
How many D have? How many did F have?
7.
Add them up and you get 16. That's the way we learned how to do it before I taught you a shortcut. Okay? Number 2, a single 3D orbital can hold how many electrons?
Wrong.
2 is correct. All right? 3D has 5 lines, right? I asked about a single 3D orbital. So a single orbital can hold 2 electrons. All right, which of those is a metalloid?
18.
18. All right, and which of those has the greatest quantum leap? And I said that is emitted. So emitted has to do what?
Do what?
Go up or go down. Okay, because I said emitted, it has to go down. So this is out and this is out. Now, is 5 to 3 or 6 to 2 a greater emission? 6 to 2. The difference is 4 here, and the difference there is only 2. So this would be the greater emission.
Number 3 was 18, right?
Uh-huh. All right, at this point, according to our count, you should have 10 openings. All right? Please, please, please put your name on the paper.
Kevin.
Last time we had like 1 or 2 people who didn't. I know Kevin was one. Please make sure they're clearly marked and put them on the stool.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Where?
5.
If you need a stapler, it's on my desk.
That's the first time I come on. Mama be the
If you
first one.
marked it, I can read it.
Much a little assistant.
Fabulous. I need an assistant.
Well, no, Annabelle told me she FaceTimed you.
She did. Because she told me she was coming here this afternoon, because she's so
Okay, Miss
The
Wall.
test is tomorrow, but guess who's not here?
He doesn't come today.
Miss Wall. Now stay up here for 15 minutes. I didn't want to stay at all.
That's kid baby.
But we begged for you to rest me. I was gonna wear that too. Miss Wall, can you admit that you don't speak?
Huh?
Can you admit that you don't speak English?
Miss.
Don't be like this.
The one
Don't you beat that back for you?
I got on the same shoes today. Oh, that over there. Oh yeah. I got a good line on my lap. It was that was hard. I was impressed with my class 3. Yeah.
All right, let's look at number 13 first.
I like the dumb version.
All right,
I was the smartest.
stick it on my desk, Allie. Number 13. The number of electrons in the outer shell of bromine is 7. The atom with the outer shell configuration of 4p4 is Se.
Wait, that's B? Yes. Wait, how do we find that out?
This is 4. Now let me change colors. This is 4. This is the S block. This is 3. That's D. This is 4. This is P. So this is P1, P2, P3, P4. So it ends on 4P4, which is Se. All right, letter C. The element with the first D electron would be Sc. Okay. The first element to contain a pair of D electrons is iron. All right. D has how many lines?
Definitely say.
All right, so the first arrow is up, the second arrow is up, the third, fourth, and fifth all go up, right? Which electron pairs? Number 6, right?
Wow. Wait, that makes sense.
The first 5 electrons in D do what? They go up. You don't pair an electron until what happens?
It fills.
Until those first 5 are singles. The 6th electron will pair. That's when, oops, all the rooms are filled with a single and somebody has to share. Mom and dad had another baby. Somebody had a whoops. And now somebody's got to share. No more additions. So we're talking about the 6th electron. So count across 6 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So iron is number 6. All right, letter D. Nope, we just did that one. E. The element for which the dot symbol consists of 5 dots in the 5th main energy level. What does the main energy level or 5th main energy level mean? Yep. If you didn't know that, that's the shortcut we talked about yesterday. So when you read that in your head, that's a period. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going 5 periods. So you're in this row. And it said 5 dots. So you have to be group 15. So group 15 would put us at antimony. I don't know.
Wait.
I don't mind repeating. I mind talking over people. So it says a 5th main energy level. So 5th main energy level means 5th period. So you have to be on this row, which is the 5th period. And then it says you have an electron dot symbol of 5 dots. 5 dots means you have to have how many outer shells? 5. So 5 outer shells is going to put us here. So that's why it's antimony. Okay? A full 4th energy level. Okay?
36.
That's you can either count up by saying N equals 4 and counting up your sublevels, 4S, 4P, 4D, or 4F. You can use 2N squared, or you can look at where all the 4s are on the periodic table and count up each of the elements that follow the 4s. So here, 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 and here. It doesn't matter which method you use, okay? Pick the one you're happiest with. 2 plus 10 plus 6 plus 32, or plus 14 is 32, or you could have said 2, 6, 10, 14 is going to give you 32, or you could have said 4 squared times 2 is 32. Any of those methods work. All right, letter G. The first element with an F electron is Ce. H is an incredibly poorly worded question. I wouldn't ask one that's worded that way, but basically what it's asking you, I would not ask it that way. All right, it's telling you that you have a principal quantum number of 4 and a principal quantum number of 2. It's telling you have period 2 and period 4. Okay, that's what it's telling you. It's telling you you have the same S and P electron configuration. So what is it telling you if you have the same S and P electron configuration? You're in the same what? Not period, same group. Okay, so you're in the same group as fluorine. So fluorine is in period 2. So it wants to know what element's in the same group as fluorine, but you're in period number 4, so you would be same group. So it'd be Br. I would not ask that way because it's incredibly poorly worded. All right, I. Who does not have 2 dots? Who'd you pick? Who does not have 2 dots? PV is correct. All right, the total number of orbitals filled in chlorine? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the answer. Questions about how to get 8?
Yeah, I get 8.
The easiest way for most people to do it is to draw chlorine. 1s, 2s,
What's this total?
2p, 3s, 3p. How many are filled? Filled means you have how many electrons on it? 2. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one does not count. Why? It's only got half. So the ones I put dots over count because they're 2 electrons on each orbital. So that's how I got 8. All right. For number K, the number of half-filled orbitals of cobalt. Now, if they ask half-filled, am I going to draw all of those orbitals? You can, but I'm not going to. I'm going to draw shorthand. So cobalt is Ar, 4s2, 3d, 7. For half-filled, what is the only thing I need to draw? 3d, because this is full. This is full. The only thing that's going to be half full is 3d7. I don't need to draw those others. Okay? So 3d has how many lines? And I need to draw 7 arrows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many are half full?
3.
3. Now, these kind of questions probably make up 20 to 25 questions on the test. Okay? All right. The number of electron-containing orbitals in bromine. All right. Electron-containing orbitals.
Pictures.
Nope. How many lines have electrons? That's all I want.
What do you mean?
So if I go back to chlorine, since it's drawn, I'm asking you how many orbitals are there? So does this one count if I'm adding this time?
Yes.
Yes, because it has an electron on it. I wouldn't count it if it's empty. So for bromine, we have what? 35?
Oh dear God.
Nope. What's that thing called in here?
Beautiful arrows. Just walk.
All right, 35 arrows. How many orbitals contain electrons?
Oh. 17, 18.
I didn't count. How many do we have?
18.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
I'm really pissed that I'm
All right. M, the 6th period element with the same outer shell configuration as antimony would be. So 6th period, same as antimony. Antimony's here, and it's in the 5th period. So which one would be in the 6th period? It would be the same as antimony. Bismuth.
What is that?
One right below it. All right. And the last one, which element would have exactly 19 filled orbitals? How do we do that?
I don't know, but
How many electrons fill an orbital?
what?
I said, how many electrons fill an orbital? 2. How about you say 19 times what?
2.
What's 19 times 2? 38. So what element has 38 electrons? Strontium would be the answer then.
That's the X, right? That's right. What's strontium?
SR.
What'd you say the answer was for VR?
For which one?
VR, when we're asked about.
Oh, 18.
The next one?
All right, let's do the periodic table one first on the backside.
Oh, they did this right.
All right, now to be an alkali metal, you have to be in what group? There are 2 letters there.
Oh.
It can only be what letter?
C.
Because I is in what place? Hydrogen. And hydrogen's a what? It's a gas. It's a non-metal. It can't be the alkali metal.
What? That doesn't make no sense. That thing was weird. I need to do that first.
All right. An alkaline earth metal would have to be which one? Has to be F. All right. An inactive gas. A, it means it doesn't react, so it has to be A. An active non-metal. H, it means it's reactive. We said group 17 was the most reactive. All right. A semi-metal. B, it means you're a metalloid. All right. An inner transition element. I don't like that answer. D is in dog. An inner transition element means that you came from inside the transition elements. All right. So D is in dog came from inside the transition elements, and you were cut out and moved to the bottom.
Why didn't it see D?
Okay. That's the lanthanide and actinide. They're the inner transition elements. The most common oxidation number is -2. G is correct. A metal with more than one oxidation state. That's E as in elephant. All right. A metal with an oxidation number of +3. J. And it has a +1 or -1 oxidation number. That's I.
Can you go through and just say the
No, because I don't have the answers in front of me. I'm doing this off the top of my head.
That's more than one oxidation state because of there.
Oh, get it.
It's wall. It's H. E. More than one oxidation state because of there.
E has more than one oxidation state because it varies, yes. Transition metals vary. The only 2 that don't are which 2? Zinc and silver. All right, on the back side, or really the front side of the sheet. Which quantum number describes shape? Orbital or L? Size? Principal or N? And orientation? Magnetic or M? Arrange the following in order of increasing energy.
So is that like the chart thing?
It's like the order of the chart thing. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So 2S, 2P, 3S, 3P, 4S, and then 3D. Okay? They do not go in numerical order. Dylan, I need to see your homework. Can I see it real quick so I can write it down because I won't remember later?
4P. What about the last one?
4P was there?
Yeah.
Okay, so after 3D would be 4P.
So it goes in the energy of that little arrow.
You had
I know. One. Right.
All right. Number 3. Which one can exist? 2P or 3D? Sorry, 2D or 4P? 4P. 2D cannot. All right. What is the main energy level that can hold 18 electrons? 3. N equals 3 can hold 18 electrons. Because you've got an S, P, and D sublevel there. All right, what's the total number of electrons at? It is not he, it's the second main energy level. It's got a typo. 8. And the total number of electrons at the 4th main energy level? 32. All right, what's the 4th period element that can hold an octet? Kr. All right, so I asked you to do this for phosphorus. So if we draw the configuration for phosphorus has 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. This would be the outer shell. This would be the inner shell. So there would be 5 electrons on the outer shell, 10 electrons on the inner shell. All right. Which is the highest occupied energy level on 10? Is in what period? 10 is right here. So it is in the 5th period. So its highest energy level is 5. Now, if you didn't do it that way, you could have written 10Kr, 5s2, 4d10, 5p2, and again, the highest energy level is a 5. You can do it either way. Which element has a half-filled p sublevel in period 4? Period 4 is here. Half-filled p. So here's the p sublevel. That's p1, p2, p3, p4, p5, and p6. S. Draw the orbital notation for oxygen. Oxygen has 8 electrons, so that's a nice short one. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 4 more, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The electron configuration for nickel: 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d8, I think. All right, germanium's dot diagram would be GE with 2 dots, or is it? No, single and single. So I have to look at the table. I truly do not have it memorized. Osmium in shorthand. Will be. We're on the last one.
What? I thought we were on 11.
I just did all those.
Oh, those were separate.
That's oxygen. That's nickel.
Oh.
That's germanium.
Hold on. Huh? How do we do this? We have to teach me every day. Okay.
Everybody got it?
Yeah. Write the shorthand for OS and then D. Whoa.
All right. So OS is XE in brackets. 6s2, 5d. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's go.
4f14. All right.
Yay.
Wait, why did you do
ND is XE. 6s2. Put it on my desk. 5d1. 1, 2, 3, 4f3.
Wow. How did you do the, like, I still don't really know how to do the, with the arrow thing. That's where I messed up. Because I stopped at 5d6.
Did you go across the section that has, if you went across, if you went across this thing right here, you got to have that 4F
At the bottom.
at the bottom. Because this is number 57 and this is number 72. You've lost 14 elements, okay? So when you add up your electron configuration, let's just say you have this, all right? Osmium has an atomic number of 76. All right? So if you look up xenon, it's 54. 54 plus 2 plus 6. That's going to be what when you add it up?
62.
Is that 76? So does your electron configuration represent 76 electrons? No, you've lost a whole lot of elements there, or electrons. So that tells you you missed going down here to pick those up. Okay? So when you get to here, and you've read 5D1, you've got to come down here. Now, you don't have to. You can just write 5D1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like you did, and that's fine. But you have to remember that what's represented by this dot. This whole section is that dot.
Oh, so all we do is like at the end put that.
You can do that as long as you remember that dot is that whole row and write 4F14.
That's how I know it.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Anything else on homework?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Test review sheet.
Here, make yourself useful since you're irritating that. Here's the
Oh. Hey, Karen, I still do it. Yeah.
I am like, okay.
What? You can definitely.
I think it's something.
She said that.
Sometimes. I usually cut down so I don't have to stick my hand in the goo.
I don't know where you're I just thought about that. That's really irritating.
You can have a few. I'm not giving you many because I like it. Go away.
Hold up, now this. Oh, Mr. Wall.
Just passed out.
Now,
If not, just gonna go out to the next day. We don't want that.
Another bag of sweet teas?
Yeah.
now, the one that is typed, I gave you because the test is multiple choice tomorrow. And we're gonna go over that one shortly, so I prefer you start on the multiple choice.
Okay.
The other one is just a review sheet I haven't given you yet for homework. Wow. I'm gonna give you about 14 minutes.
15.
Yeah.
Let's go over both of these.
No, it should be a flat 20 this long. Just make it a flat 20.
For the multiple choice.
We don't even want to play Kahoot.
Yes. Yes. Because I really want to talk about the periodic table today.
The history of the
We're not on that unit. We're not on that unit, and we're not
Old
on
guys
that
and we're gonna make these stuff in the thing and organize and start like now it's dead. There you go.
easy
Somebody.
I never get a bell. Actually, no, why are you doing
How can y'all be reading questions this loud?
Because
You're not multitasking, it's called switch tasking.
yeah, Miss Lovely got a battery left.
It's not only visible. Isn't it? Cause like what if it's see what if it's like X-ray?
Hey,
Is it really?
the change of an atom from the excited state to the ground state always involves absorption of
I thought the ground state was
It's two P's.
From the excited to the ground state, not be absorption.
Here's your bag.
I'm so happy. I'm helping you.
So you was correct. That's where you
Faith, I only count 9. You only have 9.
No. Okay, well.
She said no.
I was here every day. Why are you slacking?
Seven.
Girl, I'm not number 2. Look, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one.
I swear I don't know what's going on there.
Absolutely.
You understand?
I worked really hard.
I think you're wrong.
Sorry.
That's why.
I think what you're wrong.
Oh, now you are.
Wait, crap, I got C.
Cheyenne, when are you gonna stop killing trees and say, hey,
It's excited state account. It goes from a higher.
Cheyenne, you're always gonna stop killing trees.
Then why not other kids will be
That's why I'm not even, I'm trying to change sheets of paper. She is killing the 4 questions from, okay? And that's, and that's.
And you.
You about to kill the turtles too. Trees already died.
How many reasons they're dead now?
They were already dead.
Because people add No.
portion of the S, so it's S.
I mean, not really. I'm stressed.
Sweetheart, did you just tell me ESL?
I'm gonna try to create a
Yes. Because the number of possibilities is very individual.
That was an 8. What do you mean they have August?
Like, it's been the same way all over.
Tuesday have August 16th. Maximum amount of pay rate.
Number 763.
Right, yeah. I do as well. I was like, it could be really thin. For the bridge.
Ready.
No, I didn't tell her.
Oh, the number of shapes, like just basic shapes.
Well, you know, both of them, so the last 12 questions.
Oh, my God.
You have to walk down the beach.
Well,
I mean, I walk the other way.
Oh, it's on the L.
I'm glad I could get this back there.
Let's face it.
Glad I could load this back.
This is better than that.
Oh, no, that was just those papers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he has one. So I just took, he told me to take something. So I took something. And I just did something. Nope, you did. Don't worry, I have no paper. Well, don't do domestic stuff.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Gotcha.
Oh,
finish it.
Go ahead.
Wait, why would I know? Why would I know?
It's a whole year.
Yes.
You didn't get mine as well.
Small.
Yeah,
Joyce is leaving.
okay.
Do we have homework?
Study for the test.
Okay, bye, Joy.
I'll be back.
Not
Not for this class, but I'll be back. Yeah. I'm finished with my test right now.
Yeah. It's about to tell you to sit right there.
Is it wrong?
It does. I didn't even know that. You just have to print it out regularly.
Okay, yeah. And just share with me. Yeah, okay, I'll take let's see.
Oh my God.
What is that?
I don't know.
Where is Sandy?
I was really close like last week. And then I was saying like last night, like up to 12:30. But yeah, I was staying up past 11. I was like, you're really coming all day. I can say that because in all my grades, it's like plus football for extra credit. You do all that I can.
No.
That's all I can do. So if I'm done, you can't share that. I wish you have to do it. You know, like I can't be depressive if I'm doing all that I can do.
Are
you just talking? No, I don't think she's talking.
She's just talking.
She's just talking. No, it's okay.
I don't know if that was better.
Yeah, I don't go past like 11:30. And if I do, Annabelle. And if I do, come here. I don't go home before 10:30 from work. So I'll just work on her. So I can't. No, boy.
Annabelle, since you're not doing anything besides wandering aimlessly,
We've had first account there. I haven't said
like everybody's got hungry except two people.
You are kidding.
25.
Okay.
Okay, Rosanna. 100.
I just have to figure out who I don't.
I'm gonna tell you all of them and then you'll go. Who did? No, because I said I'll drop the staple tours. No, I didn't. No. Yeah. So Ceci, Elandra.
That's fine.
So yeah.
Please tell me I did not forget my pencil. I went and bought orbital spin. So there is
What's in a list of the magnetic?
Don't worry about it.
I want to put that in.
She don't even really know how
She said she missed you.
All right, let's look at some answers. All right, number 1. B is a boy.
Is it from ground?
Now you can finish your yeah.
When you emit light and come down, there's nothing wrong with C. It's just not the best answer. Okay? Because it doesn't have to be visible light. It can be any type of EMR. I just used visible light that day because you could see it, but it doesn't have to be visible light.
So A would be from ground state to excited state.
Correct. A would be from the ground to the excited state. All right, 2 is D, as in dog. An orbital is a highly probable location the electron is out. That's Schrodinger's theory.
That's
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it right.
That's Bohr's theory. Bohr is the circular path, okay? But that's in orbit, okay? Bohr's the one who used the term orbit, and that's the circular paths we've been talking about. Specific regions where electrons have to be at. That's what Bohr defined it as. But Schrodinger's the one who changed it to an orbital, which is the 3-dimensional area of probability, which is the orbital quantum numbers we've been talking about for days now. Orbital and orbit are not the same thing. That is correct. Yes. All right, number 3, the quantum model of the atom locates the electron just like in number 2. So what's the answer if we go with number 2? C. Number 4, how many quantum numbers are there?
4.
It's 4 quantum numbers, so it's D.
It threw me off when it said electron.
Why does it, no, if that's the case, then why does it say the energy state?
Because there's 4 quantum numbers to describe how much energy an electron has.
Those are the ones we have.
Principal, orbital, magnetic, and spin.
Man, Miss Walker.
Man, Nikaya.
Why do questions like this? Like, they're not even worded right. An English teacher will look at this and be like, what is this? No sense. None at all.
Sorry.
Will they all word it like this in the text?
Some will, some won't.
Well, if you could just get straight to the point and ask the actual question.
Are we allowed to ask you what it's asking us?
Right, because that's confusing. I don't understand.
You're allowed. It doesn't mean I'll answer.
Well, you should, and so if I pull up my phone and Google up the question.
I'm going to give you a 0 for cheating.
So if we ask you to reword it, you think you'd be able to? Yeah.
Sometimes I may, sometimes I may not.
Sometimes it just depends
I mean, you can always ask, but it doesn't mean I will always answer.
It just depends on the question.
I don't remember.
Sometimes I will say I don't remember.
Or you'll say, I don't recall. You can say, I don't know.
Okay, well, at least you won't be shocked when I say it.
Or you'll say, ew, goes down.
Number 5, the spherical cloud surrounding the nucleus would be S. It said sphere. Sphere is S. Okay, the letter designations for the first 4 orbital quantum numbers with the spatial positions available would be what? B. All right, S has how many different orientations? Orientations are pictures.
I thought you were talking about electrons.
Pictures. So S has how many different orientations or spatial positions means pictures? Spatial positions are pictures.
We start off the quarter with the L, Miss okay?
Let's hope not.
And if it's talking about electrons, it would flat out say electrons.
Yes, it'll say electrons. It'll flat out say that. All right, number 7, the number of possible orbital shapes for the third energy level. Third energy level has how many sub-levels? So how many different shapes can you have if there are 3 sub-levels? 3. The S, the P, and the D. S would have what shape? Sphere. The P would be and D would be four-lobe. The maximum number of electrons that occupy the S sublevels are A, because there are 2, and it has to spin in opposite directions. The spin quantum number indicates the number of possible orientations for an electron in an orbital is 2, positive or negative 1/2. The correct sequence and ascending energies of atomic sublevels is B as in boy, 5s, 4d, 5p, 6s. You can either read that with the diagonal arrows or you can read it going across the periodic table. Okay? Number 11, what statement occupies the lowest energy orbital that can receive it is?
Alpha.
It's Aufbau. Now, you will not need to know the names. You will not need to know the names on the exam. So after you take our test tomorrow, you will not need to know the names.
So we need to know the names for the test tomorrow?
Yes.
We need to know
You need to know Aufbau, Pauli, and Hun for our test. You will not need to know it for the exam.
I'm tired. Lord have mercy. Is this the whole test though?
The whole test goes from dual wave through what we did yesterday. It's representative. Number 12. In the correct dot diagram of phosphorus, you would have C. The electron configuration for scandium would show it would show A. 4s2, 3d1.
Wait. What was number 12? Sorry.
Number 12 is C. Number 13 is A. 14. The element with that configuration would be D. The correct electron notation for sulfur would be B. B as in boy. B as in boy.
Yes, how?
D as in dog. You would the way I would do 14 is I'd add up the electrons. 2 plus 2 plus 6 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Plus 6 is 18. And I'd look at the element for 18. Or I'd look up 3p6 on the periodic table and see who ends on 3p6. But truthfully, the first way I do it is I'd add up the electrons and say 2 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6 is 18. And which element is number 18 up there? And number 18 is argon. That's the shortest way to do it. All right. Number 16 we said was octet. If you fill an S and a P, that's 2 plus 6, so that's 8. So 8 has to be an octet. 15 is B. How would I do it? I'd draw the electron configuration and draw the dot diagram. So you have neon in brackets, because I'm doing shorthand. I'm not drawing the whole thing out because it's a dot diagram.
Ms. Wall, when you get time, can you go over number 13?
It's probably the same thing. Nope, slightly different. I'd still do it in shorthand.
I did B.
All right, so for phosphorus, I know it's sulfur. Neon, 3s2, 3p4. And it wants a dot diagram, right? So I need this. 3s has 1 line. 3p has 3 lines. And I need 4 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I draw sulfur, 2 dots are together. 2 dots are together. A single dot and a single dot. So if I draw the dot diagram, what answer am I going to have for that question about sulfur and the dot? Yeah, 2 dots together, or 2 singles. So that's how I know that. For the one about scandium is right here. So again, shorthand, AR in brackets, 4 and 3. So I have 4s2, and then 3d1. So this is what I'm looking for an answer. 4s2 and 3d1.
Not the highest.
Okay. Anything else before we move on to number 17?
No, man.
All right, the noble gas configuration is an outer main energy level fully occupied by how many electrons? C.
What?
2?
No.
No. It should be 8. It should be B.
Okay, well, you said C.
I thought somebody said C.
It's 17,
17 should be B as in boy.
Okay, so I don't know if it's what I meant.
All right, 18. What comes after 4P?
I missed 6.
5S. Who said that you have to have one electron before a second one occupies it? Not the A one.
Four.
Hund. H-U-N-D.
What question is that?
Hund's rule.
Where are you thinking that question?
Number 19.
Orbitals have equal energy. Oh.
All right, number 20. To complete the electron configuration, you would need 3s2 and 3p1. It tells you to complete the electron configuration for a third series represented by a pair of dots and a single dot. So if you're in the third period, you have to have a 3, and it needs 2 dots and a single dot. So I need 3 more electrons. So that's why I went 3s2 and then 3p1, because I need 3 electrons. All right, the electron configuration for carbon is given, and it wants to know the atomic number. So how do I find the atomic number? Add. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. The electron configuration for atomic number 11 is sodium. So you can either write it out or do shorthand. I'd probably do shorthand, but we can do the whole thing. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and 3s1. The number of electrons and the highest energy level of argon. What's the outer shell of argon going to have if it's in group 18? 8 is the answer. The element with 8 electrons and its outermost energy level is called what? Noble gas, octet. Either answer is fine. It wasn't very specific. The quantum number that indicates the position of an orbital about its 3 axes. Magnetic would be the right answer, or M. The blank orbitals are dumbbell shaped and directed along the X, Y, and Z axes. P is correct.
What?
The P orbitals are dumbbell shaped. The number of different sublevels with each energy level of an atom is equal to the value of which quantum number?
What?
Which quantum number is equal to the number of sublevels? The orbital is the number of sublevels. So which quantum number equals the number of sublevels? The principal.
L.
And yes, N equals the sublevel. So that's why it's principal. All right, there are blank orbitals in the D sublevel. 5 is correct. Blank electrons are needed to complete the 4th energy level. 32 is correct. And the last one. A particular main energy level can hold 18 electrons. What would N have to be to hold 18 electrons? 3.
All right, I did it.
All right. We have about 22 minutes if you want to try to play Coot. What? 7 is C, 8 is A. You will need probably, I would recommend all 3. The orange one, the blue one, or the SPDF one. I wouldn't be surprised if I even have stuff thrown in that requires your reference tables before you guys get mad at me in a minute. It'll be on the test. What? I would get out my reference table and all 3 periodic tables.
What do you mean by random?
Jayla, are you just trying to set me off today?
No.
Somebody help her. She asked me what I meant by the reference table.
Oh, never mind. I get it. The orange.
They're all orange, dude.
She means that door has multiple pages.
Ah.
I'm not trying to do it without anything.
When Bob people want to think, I want to think it. For real. Hey, Miss Paul,
What?
when bald people wash their face, how far do they go up?
Probably all over their head. Who knows?
Isn't your husband bald?
No, my husband has. He has his hair really short, but he has hair.
Oh, I split the poop wrong. Oh my God. Stop right here.
Are you and your husband best friends?
For the most part.
Oh.
My daughter likes to tell me that's not true. That she and I are best friends, so he and I can't be.
Are you and your daughter really close? Me and my mom aren't at all. I don't tell her anything. She's really good on nerves. Her and Mary Lloyd are besties though. Me and my mom, she knows me. I would like to be close to my mom, but she judges me for everything I do, so. You know what, Frank?
Oh,
Like, she judges.
those people.
That's a long.
Like, he treats me different than he does. I never had to do
Hurry up! Put your names
Okay, the L right next to each other.
Y'all heard the remix to this?
Oh, you can't.
Trying to tell somebody to not use their emotions.
Come on, guys, get your names in here.
I might need to. Make sure I don't have to. No, are you okay? Put that in my cry a lot.
It'd be like that.
You are so right, brother. Amen.
Yeah, and then that's another thing.
What's your boy?
It's like, honey, you are used to this. This happens every month.
Faith,
Break up.
I am allowed now. Faith, what are you talking about? I knew it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I meant serious. Yeah. She was like, you're always crying. I was like, I have the rights to cry. You know what my year's been like? Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Faith, it's okay. Stop.
I can't see it.
Oh, it is.
Where are my other 6 people at?
It's just blurry. I can't see it.
We can start with that.
I can't even see it.
How many people throw you in anyway? You know, you try to smash them on little, whatever it is.
Peace.
Ew, the nasty peas. Miss Walker, come back here.
I like them. I told you I'm addicted to these flakes.
I mean, it's the shape.
See, I only do good on
Oh,
here.
we got a minute. Let's go.
The shape.
The
shape is.
Now, if we take a minute every time, we're not going to finish the Kahoot. So, pick up the pace.
Pick up the pace.
I
I definitely got this wrong. Hey.
Remember, there are assigned numbers. S starts with 0, P is 1, E is 2, F is 3.
I'm a high knowledge.
Hurry up.
You started to do math.
Negative 2.
Let's go.
We're so sad on the
Not bad.
I hate you.
I suck.
I don't even know why y'all picked that other stuff.
Hold up now. How you answer this? Went over this, girl. I said it says. I signed up.
Is it 24 of us?
It sounds like the last level of Mario Bros.
Dang. Sweet. Moving on up.
It's the same thing as n equals 3. So either 3 squared times 2, look for all the 3's on the periodic table and add them up. Add up SPDF. What? Yeah.
To step on the interruption, those students who have first lunch, we're going to follow the same proceedings we had yesterday.
I hate that.
Students that have first lunch need to go back to their third period class. Their teachers will bring them to the lunch, and we will do it the same way. Understand, students have first lunch.
I'm not in there to clean up after.
You need to be orderly as far as when you come in and not keep the volume down. The noise level should not be as it was yesterday. Until then, we may change it back where you can eat in the cafeteria, but understand that you need to keep the volume down. Once you get your lunch, you go back to class, and the teachers have been doing a great job. Thank you again.
Is it okay if it's like one of those ones where you're putting like holders like for like it's like mouthwash things for like bathroom.
No, really small.
Really small like the bathroom.
The shot glasses for mouthwash. I got that one right, and I didn't even do my arms.
All right, I got 1.10.
All right, so what does 6 to 2 line up with?
410.
410. So 4.1, which would line up with Violet.
Oh, no, Bob.
Relationship with why am I still in it? Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Dang it.
All right. Which one is directly proportional? Energy and frequency.
That was like the last level of freaking Mario. Oh, I don't know. Krypton. Because you are my kryptonite, you wall. So, what is there?
Good.
Hey.
Okay, now.
Name value. Oh.
Remember, minus L is positive L. So P has a value of what? 1, so minus 1 to positive 1.
23rd place. I keep getting it right, but it takes me a minute to answer because I'm a lag.
Okay. That's all right. That means your test score will be okay tomorrow. You can't lose this 23rd place.
We hope so. Dang it.
What do we know about N?
It's always one up.
It's always 1 up from L.
That's how Oh my god. 2. Yes.
How did you figure this out?
She's right.
You know what? This wall. You can. Oh. Okay. You guys are always hurting my feelings. I don't. Oh my god. I want to cry.
How many spaces is sulfur over from the left?
4.
Sorry, the right. I'm reading it wrong.
I'm just
It's over 2 places from the right. So there's 2 left unpaired. That's how you do it fast, Joe.
In the F subliminal fold. What is clickers?
Cards. Have we not done cards or rotate A, B, C, D cards?
No.
We'll do that in the next year with friends. Instead of doing this. It's too hard with the times to do that. All right. How many electrons can F hold? 14. 32 would be an N equals 4, not the F sublevel.
Well, if I did. Oh, I didn't know. Lois.
Say what? Red. So did you look at your orange chart?
No.
Yeah.
What do we know about frequency and wavelength? They're opposites, right? So lowest frequency would be with the longest wavelength.
What's this? You know what? 6.
Maybe.
Maybe.
There's not even a 4.
Were you too fast?
I need to renew my license. You know what? Let's go out and party.
How many electrons go in an orbital? So count every 2 elements and you'll get the answer.
That's what I did for propane and I didn't get it right.
Oh. So hydrogen and helium is 1. Lithium and beryllium is 2. Boron and carbon is 3. Just keep going until you get to magnesium. So you get 6. The electrons. Add up argon, add up the other electrons, and find the element. Periodic table. How many electrons does argon have? Okay, then just guess.
I just used them.
All right, so if you look up argon, it has how many electrons? 18 plus 2 is 20 plus 5 is 25. Or you could have just gone across to 3D5 and it's what element? Mn.
What is delirium?
52. Did you answer?
Yeah.
Don't wait and not answer. Otherwise, we have to wait on all that time to tick off.
Joe, can you have my phone, please?
How many? Hey guys, I don't know dots.
I feel more confident when I have extra time.
Right.
It's bypassing the stage that I will eat it. I like it a little more green.
So you're not gonna eat it?
Maybe not.
I don't really eat bananas.
All right. How do you find dots? Outer shell electrons. So tellurium's in what group? Oxygen family. So it should have 6 outer shell electrons. So it should have 6 dots.
Phosphorus. It's kind of like a trick question.
Some people will think so. It's not designed to be a trick question. And Kevin, when you get up, put the tennis ball on that you knocked off the chair when you were sitting back on the legs. It's rolled out in the middle of the aisle. What am I asking for when I say total electrons? The atomic number.
What would be 5?
The outer shell.
Where's silver?
Number 47.
She let me borrow your car for one Saturday night, right?
The world thing?
Yeah.
That's like
Zero chance of that ever happening.
You're not.
Yeah, you want to let me borrow your car?
No,
What happens to tell you the highest energy level? The period.
Also, that was like when I first had my license. So that doesn't count.
It counts. You almost
You had an accident.
Ran a red light.
I didn't. It was yellow. It was yellow, and I was already at the line, so I just kept going. Okay.
The last person who hit my car and tore the front end off, when I had to call 911 and they asked me if they needed an ambulance, I said, I don't know. I refused to speak to them.
I'm dead.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Some lady from the florist came out and was attending to them. They sent an ambulance anyway because I didn't go check on them.
Wait, what happened?
Wow.
What did she hit her?
She ran a red light and took off the front end of my brand new car I'd made 4 payments on. Didn't care if she was injured.
Yeah.
She wanted to get up. I was like, yeah, she might be into that. I better drag you out your car.
Exactly.
Right.
I did not walk over to see if she was injured.
You don't want me to.
I would have.
Apparently she was having a panic attack.
Get you out. Right.
That's it.
Wow.
The lady at 911, I think, was a little stunned too when I said I didn't check on her.
Beat her up.
All right, most reactive non-metal has to be in what group? 17. So you're looking for the element group 17.
Oh, that's
Yes.
Wait, no, you're cheating.
I think we've lost it.
Okay, great.
Look at what you gotta say.
I've had this happen before. It doesn't usually come back. It's usually just gone when this happens. All right, what group would it have been if the question was there? It would have been a noble gas question or an answer, but yeah, we only have one left after this. But it's probably gone.
I thought I said most.
It said most stable. So it would have been a noble gas answer.
So,
But it's not going to come back. I mean, I can hit reload, but it's probably gone.
noble gas.
No, it's gone. All right. If you have a laptop, go ahead and put it up. Your homework is to do what Susan Joyce asked? Study for the test. All right. I will not be checking that homework sheet. If you don't need to do it because you're good, don't worry about it.
How about if I do it anyway, check it before that person? Just give me like